So this should be Atari Anthology on the PlayStation 2. I paid £4 for this, including the postage and packing. Unfortunately, when I did try to make the payment, PayPal decided to freeze my account because they want to review the transaction. So the payment didn't go through, but the guy kindly sent me the game anyway. So let's open it up. There it is. Condition isn't too bad. I'd say it's about average, really. I suppose. Well, probably a bit better than average. So it looks like there's 85 games on it. Centipede. Asteroids. So yeah, there's supposed to be, there's 67 Atari 2600 games on this, and there's 18 classic Atari arcade games, so really looking forward to playing this later. I've been going through a bit of a phase these last few weeks of just buying retro game compilations. I just think the old games are really fun, to be honest. So let's check out the disc. Yep, disc isn't too bad at all. We'll have a quick look at the manual. So if we can get it out. Bear with me. Just your standard manual. So yeah, let's take a look at Atari Anthology on the PlayStation 2. Atari Anthology is a retro compilation which consists of 18 Atari arcade games and 67 Atari 2600 games, which is 85 in total. The menu is quite interesting as the games are split into categories like sports, mind, adventure and so on. I love the space theme that they've got going on with the menu here, and the menu music is great too. There is a lot of bonus material. There are several scans to look at for every game, like arcade flyers, cartridges, boxes and manuals. There are also several Nolan Bushnell videos where he talks about different stuff too.
My favorite game of all time? Go. I mean, it's... I played number 2 board for the University of Utah chess, and the minute I discovered Go, my fascination with chess left.
There are several challenges for each game. All of the challenges for the arcade games are unlocked from the start, and by getting good enough scores on any of the challenges, you will unlock the whole set of challenges for a particular Atari 2600 game. The challenges are Time Challenge, where you try to score the most points before the time runs out, Trippy Mode, which will give the games a trippy look, Time Warp, where the game speeds up and slows down, Hot Seat, where you are presented with up to 3 additional games to play in combination with the game you have already selected. So basically you'll continuously cycle through all of the games, playing on each one for about 10 seconds until you lose all of your lives on any of the games. And lastly, Double Speed, where the speed of the game is doubled, obviously. And it doesn't end there. For each of the games you have several options, like having the cabinet art on or off, having advanced graphics on or off, which really aren't that advanced at all, adjusting the amount of lives, the analog sensitivity, etc. And the game select option is there for each of the 2600 games. So let's take a look at some of the games. This is Asteroids. Good game. This is Asteroids Deluxe. Battlezone, Black Widow, really fun game. This is Crystal Castles, and this is one of my all-time favourite retro games. I get the impression that a lot of people don't actually like Crystal Castles, or is it just the Atari 2600 version that they don't like? I'm not sure, but I like both versions. I first played Crystal Castles on the Atari 8-bit back in the 80s, and I loved it. I really like this original arcade version, and I like the Atari 2600 version. I'm not sure how much better this would have been to play with the actual trackball, but I think the PS2 controller works just fine. Although the Atari 2600 version, it is pretty damn hard to control Bentley Bear. Millipede. Missile or Missile Command. Pong. Space Duel. This is a really fun game. It's quite like Asteroids. As you can see on the screen, you're controlling two spaceships, which it's quite fun using that mode. But you can use another mode where you just use one spaceship, and you've got to shoot all these different things that are flying about on the screen, all these weird shapes and stuff. Tempest. This totally reminds me of a game that I used to play on the Atari 8-bit back in the 80s, which was called Livewire, and and they're both really fun games. Adventure. I'm not really sure how to play this properly. I've not really played it that much, but it seems okay. It seems quite interesting. Sword Quest Fireworld. I've not really played the Sword Quest games that much at all, so I've got no idea what I'm doing in them. I've got no idea whether I think they're good games or not, you know. I'll have to learn how to play them one day. Canyon Bomber. Atari Dodgem. It's pretty boring in my opinion. Off the Wall. Radar Lock. Breakout, it's very hard being accurate with the paddle, you know, with a bat at the bottom of the screen. Yeah, I'm assuming it would have been a lot more easy to play this on the actual Atari 2600 with the paddle controller. Gravitar. Video Pinball. It's not too bad, but it's nowhere near as good as Pinball on the Intellivision. Centipede. Crystal Castles. I do like this game, although it is quite hard to control Bentley Bear. It's hard getting him to walk over the gems. Usually you'll miss them, and he'll get stuck on the pixels, if you know what I mean, like on the edges and stuff. But I still like it. It's still a fun game, and each of the levels are actually different from the arcade original. .3D tic-tac-toe. It's I don't know. I understand how it plays, but I don't know. I do find the game very hard, really. It's like they've overcomplicated noughts and crosses, you know. So yeah, I'm not really that keen on it. Hangman, quite a fun game actually. Atari Maze Craze. I don't know. It's it's okay for about 1 minute, and then it kind of gets a bit boring. Chess. I always like a good game of chess. Bowling. Real sports tennis. Golf. I'm not sure what I think about this game. I've not played it that much, but it's very hard to try and hit the ball right. I don't know if it's because I'm not actually doing it right, or whether it's the actual game itself. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of, as far as hitting the ball is concerned, it's kind of weird. Atari Starship. It's quite a fun game actually. Yars Revenge. I'm not sure what to make of this one because I've not really played it that much and I don't really understand what you're supposed to do. Night Driver, yeah, it seems pretty crap actually. Street Racer, yeah, it's pretty boring, this game. I'm not that keen on it at all. So that's Atari Anthology. Those are just some of the games on the compilation. There's a lot more games that I've not shown you, but if I was to show you them all, the video would just go on for way too long. So it's a really good retro compilation. It's one of my most favourite retro compilations that I own, and if you're into retro games, then I totally recommend it. You can get it for quite cheap on eBay. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.